Hello everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, October 28th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. First up, there was definitely some update chatter. People saying they've seen some changes to the Google search results, specifically their rankings going up and down, their traffic going up and down from Google over the past few days. This is something that happened, I believe, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The chatter has calmed down a bit, but it's definitely a lot of people saying they noticed their rankings being impacted over the past few days, starting Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And again, some were saying this was related to Penguin, some were saying it has nothing to do with Penguin, but there's definitely some chatter around the SEO community about some type of update around Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week. Google again, Gary from Google went ahead and backed up what John Mueller said last week, and he basically tweeted out, I guess this morning sometime or last night, that we don't really have something called the overall domain authority. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can actually see that quote. So you can see over here, we don't really have overall domain authority. And that's Gary from Google basically backing up what John Mueller said earlier, I guess like a week ago, basically saying that there's no such thing as a website authority score. But then Google has said in the past that they do have site-wide signals that they do apply to new pages on a website where they want to figure out what is that authority of that web page. So it's very interesting to see Google say this again. There's another thing, Google doesn't have an overall domain authority or website authority score, which is very, very interesting. Also, Google has said that Google tends to release more algorithm updates and changes to the search results towards the end of each quarter. And he said this, John Mueller said this in a Webmaster Hangout where he said, I'll quote it for you, is towards the end of the quarter is usually a time where I see a lot of Google teams say, we always wanted to launch this, so therefore we will try to launch it at least by the end of the quarter. So we could say that it was completed by the end of the quarter, yada, yada, yada. So you'll often see a lot of changes towards the end of each quarter because Google wants to release these types of updates towards the end of the quarter. Those who are watching live, thank you. Google has fixed a hidden manual action bug, which happened, I believe, Sunday, and happened for a few days. And Google said they fixed the bug, I think on Wednesday or Tuesday, where a site would get a manual action. I assume the manual action would show up in the manual action section, but they wouldn't be notified. I'm not exactly sure how the bug impacted specific people, because if they had a manual action they didn't know, how did they know? So I think what happened was there was an email bug that went out, but John Mueller said, as far as I know, this should be resolved in the meantime as of October 25th, which was Wednesday, where Google was actually slapping webmasters with manual actions, and there was no notification of such a notice, which is kind of not the point. Google Search Console, the Search Analytics report, where you do a filter specifically for the search appearance for AMP. Let me just show it to you. So in the Search Analytics report, you're able to actually do a search appearance filter for AMP. This filter, I just found out, only actually shows you top stories in the news carousel. It doesn't show you all AMP pages in the search results. And John Mueller tweeted earlier basically saying, track your AMP in Search Console, Search Analytics, ? If you're doing that, he said, the AMP filters currently the top stories. Check your URL parameters for the full picture. So John went ahead and shared a screenshot, a different John, a Webmaster John, said, all you got to do is put into your filters here by going to pages, add a query parameter for /AMP, because usually that's the pattern your AMP pages follow, and that will give you a better impression or analytics overview of how your AMP pages are doing in mobile. Because again, it used to be that AMP pages only showed up in the top carousel, and now they show up in all mobile results, assuming you have AMP. There was an interesting Wall Street Journal article that just published this morning talking about how some publishers are not really happy with AMP, which is probably going to be a big blow for Google. It was just published. Just do a search for AMP, and I'm sure Wall Street Journal article will come up this morning if you want to find it. And if you click through the Google search results, you get to read it for free for at least the first couple clicks. Google Search Console was down for about 20 minutes, and the whole internet panicked. It was pretty crazy. Tons and tons of people were tweeting and so forth, but it's back. I'm not sure what caused the outage, but it was back. So that was a pretty big thing that happened for 20 minutes that really shocked a lot of people. Google's John Mueller said that links to images versus web pages are pretty different. But basically saying that, and let me show you that tweet so you can see it. And we really haven't heard Google talk about links to images, but he said a link to an image file versus a web page, question mark. One has a textual content and the other one doesn't. So it seems very different. It's basically Google saying, Google basically saying that, yeah, when you link to a page of content, we're able to rank that better than pretty much linking to a image because that has no content. And they're able to understand it better. Mozcast feature report shows that Google's top search results are now showing HTTPS results 40% of the time. So here's the feature chart, and this basically shows that this looks at the top, 1,000 or so search queries, measuring the top 10 results for those and how those change over time. And over here was about, first back in January, well after the HTTPS ranking signal and so forth, they reported about 25% of the top search results were HTTPS. Now you can see that increase to about 40% in just about a year, less than a year. So the increase of HTTPS results in the top results, at least Google, have been drastically increasing. And I asked Gary from Google, is this because of maybe a ranking boost? Maybe Google's ranking that stuff higher. And he said, no, it's not the case of a ranking boost. There was no change to the ranking signals. So it's just more webmasters adopting HTTPS, which is good, I guess. Here's a cool UI change. Google is testing, let me zoom in there so you can see it. Google is testing icons for the site links, the mobile results. So here's an About Us link. That link has an icon for a building. Contact Us has a person. Careers has like a job briefcase. So you can see Google's actually testing this new site links icon feature, which is pretty cool. Haven't seen it myself, but it's being tested. More tests. Google Maps has updated the Maps interface. This is somewhat important from local SEOs. So if you do a search for anything in the Maps interface, let's say gas stations, what you'll see here is the update results when map moves. So if you actually take the map and slide it with your cursor or your finger, if you have like a touch thing, what you'll actually get is these results over here will dynamically update as you move the map. It will update based on the center of the map, which is very, very cool and very, very significant for how Google shows those results. They never did that before, and now they're actually doing that. Google My Business on the map side now lets you control your attributes for your business directly in Google My Business as opposed to uploading a spreadsheet. So that's a big change for the Google My Business Center. Google Maps is testing to show local business names in the local language in addition to the non-local language. So let me just zoom in here so you can see this as well. Quebec City Marriott Downtown with the local version of it. Moscow Marriott with the local language version right under it. And the Ritz-Carlton, again, local version, and so forth. So it's pretty interesting to see Google testing this. I'm not able to replicate it. That might be because I'm in the U.S. But again, a lot of local changes this week. This is a couple weeks ago, Google launched for Google News to show if an article was fact-checked using schema. So Google actually basically just put on a little label to saying this was full fact by webmasters adding schema. Of course, Google reserves the right to say who they want to show the schema for and not. Google AdWords, this is an important change. Google AdWords is basically changed it so managed access levels are going to have full admin access levels. So you see managed read-only and managed standard access levels in AdWords is going to be upgraded to admin access, which means those people who had these read-only rights are now going to be able to control who has rights and control. They can actually give other people rights, which is a pretty big change. That's changing on November 14th. And finally, Bing Ads has launched what's called shared budgets, and basically shared budgets let you share a single daily budget across all campaigns or a subgroup of campaigns, which is a nice little feature. We have more details about that. In any event, thanks so much for those who are watching live. Thanks so much who watched after on YouTube or on Search Engine Roundtable. This is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Again, today is Friday, October 28th. Everyone, have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.